Hello everyone and welcome to my new series, which I'm hoping that is going to be weekly. This is going to be Card Game Theory, where I review a card game that I hope you probably haven't heard of, or at least do not appreciate for the value of what it is. The first card game in this series we're going to go over is a card game called Xeko. Be a Force of Nature. Yeah. It kind of has a lame premise now. It was made for, well, to teach kids about animals around the world and, quite frankly, how they coexist. But beyond its after-school special exterior is actually a very well thought out game, which is actually, some people consider it a board game because it has this more of a Euro board game feel when you have victory points, pretty much. And that's how you actually determine how you win. But I think I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. The game starts out with two players both having their own 25 card decks. Then you place out the mat, which is pretty much how you get this board game feel. Anyway, first of all, you place this card called a hotspot. Now the hotspot is where you're going to place all of your cards off of. Now this is your starting point. Now you would see on each side of it that there's going to be this color, which I think all of them are blue because all the weaker monsters are started with blue. Well, not monsters, actually animals, which is actually refreshing to say. I'm getting too used to Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, you would pretty much place them on, and you can also put them onto your opponents, which causes a turf war, which is how your battles start up. Now, each monster, I'm still getting used to all those other card games, each animal should have an attack, which should be located within the little blue Jimmy thing. Now you pretty much fight by seeing whoever does that and whatever their effects are. Now also there's these cards called boosts, which you play in your turf wars, which can give you some added benefits, which you have to play in coordination to the colors. Now if you have like matching colors, and even sometimes that they can actually have two colors, like blue and yellow. But if you have a yellow, you can place it on there. If you have blue, you can place it on there as well. It's pretty simple. It is easy to learn. Now the last card that I have to go over is called the Xeko cards. Now to play them, they're required to have these little markings on the animals. I almost caught myself saying monsters there again. Anyway, on the card there should be these little symbols, which are like these little circle and dots. I don't know, they're like tribal markings or something like that. And they should choreograph to 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think you can understand it when I show up the picture. But anyway, if you have a monster like that and you think if you connect it, I'm not for sure, I haven't paid that much attention to the rules. Yeah, that just lost a few viewers there. Anyway, if you connect it, you can play them. And they have some very good benefits, like making your opponent shed 5 cards. Oh, that's their language for discarding, is shedding, because apparently your deck's a snake. 5 cards out of a 25 card deck is a little hefty. Good you can only play 3 of every card, because then you could just kill your opponent in like 5 turns. But anyway, now the game ends once you or your opponent shed all 25 cards out of their deck. Now once that happens, you count up all of your Xeko points, which are actually in the little red jewel looking thing on your card. Now you can gain some extra ones by connecting spots on your hotspot, where actually if you're the one with cards left, you count those cards and add up points to whatever your game says. Now once that happens, whoever has the most Xeko points, or victory points, win. Now the last thing I have to really weigh into your response before I give my final answer to this review is that Xeko, the reason why you probably haven't heard of it is because they have obviously pulled their commercials out, because it's been there for a couple years. I think since 2002. Yeah, I'm pretty for sure about that. And anyway, the reason why you haven't heard of it is because you probably don't go to a zoo. Yes, they only sell it at zoos, and even on their website they only showed about 6 Hobby League stores in the entire US that even have Xeko in it. Well, it's very sad that they're trying to have this as a teaching tool and they're not really advancing their market. If they would put it in a Walmart or something, a lot more people would be playing it. And it does have definitely a competitive feel comparative to Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering, which I still don't see anyone playing Magic the Gathering actually, but that's besides the point and for a different review. Now, I'm going to review these games actually out of 5, and I got to review this as a 3. Yes, it's a 3 out of 5. It is a fun game if you can find it. And the starter decks are pretty expensive. You're talking about 30 bucks. I mean, if you look at them, they have great designs that are based on the environments and the culture of where they're around. But because of that, you have a giant wooden box that's going to cost you an extra 10 or even 20 bucks in comparison to other game starter decks. So, along with the hefty price and the limited availability, and let alone being able to find someone to play it with you, I gotta give it out of, a 3 out of 5. I'll hammer it in your head, a 3 out of 5. If they would at least make it a little bit more available to people, this would be a 5. And if you can actually find it, go ahead. Actually play it. This is really good. I'm shocked that there isn't any other videos of actual gameplay on YouTube. So this is the first edition of Card Game Theory, Relic Jones Reviews. And hoping this is weekly. See ya. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you how to win the game. I feel so stupid.